To breaking news, and Julian Assange has just touched down on the remote Northern Mariana Islands, an American territory in the Pacific, ahead of a court hearing later this morning. The Wikileaks founder will plead guilty to a single felony charge in return for his freedom, ending his 14-year legal battle.
The 52-year-old has spent the past 5 years behind bars in the UK, resisting attempts by the US to extradite him over charges related to the disclosure of secret files. And Julian's brother, Gabriel, joins us now. Good morning to you. Well, you've been speaking with Julian over the past few days. How's he feeling?
Yeah, I haven't actually spoken to him since he's been on the aeroplane, but he was very excited in the lead-up. I was in touch with him every day, actually. Last week he was phoning in and updating me on what they'd figured out and where they were going on the plane and where they had to wait and all these different things. So he was very excited about getting on that plane and making the long journey back to Australia, as all of his family, as we were as well. Very overwhelmed, actually, but also a little bit anxious now, just seeing that footage from Saipan and hoping everything goes well there, because that's the last hurdle that Julian has to get over before he takes a 6-hour flight back to Australia.
Yeah, we're looking at a live shot of the airport there at Saipan. So this is a tiny little place, explain to us, in the middle of the Pacific. He is there to face a court at 9 o'clock Eastern Australia time because he refused to go on US mainland soil, didn't he, to face a court?
Well, I think between Julian and the Australian government, they came up with this plan to get him back to Australia safely. And it was a plan that everybody agreed on, both the US and the Australian government and also Julian. And I think it's quite a neat solution. It is a US jurisdiction, so it is governed by US law. It is, there's actually big military bases, in Guam, which is just nearby. So I think it's quite a neat solution. It's only 6 hours from Australia. He's able to put his plea in there and have it accepted by a judge, and then come back here on the way back to Australia and not take a risk of landing on the US mainland and being trapped there for the rest of his life.
Well, Gabriel, how ironclad is this deal? I mean, do you know the inner workings of it? And now that he is on, official American soil, is there a concern that there'll be a last-minute change to that deal? Well,
I think there's always, when these parts of the process happen, there's always a little bit of anxiety. But I think everything's going to go smoothly, and we'll have Julian back home with us, back on Australian soil in probably just a few hours. I know that the Prime Minister, that the Ambassador Kevin Rudd, the UK High Commissioner Stephen Smith have been working very hard to really make sure that Julian is getting home safely. And Australia has really been the guarantor in this whole equation between the UK and the United States to make sure that Julian is returned to Australia. And I think that's really showing the will of the Australian people as well. Overwhelmingly, the support from the Australian people has been so huge for Julian. Poll after poll has shown that the Australians want Julian returned home, and that's what the Australian government is about to deliver in 10 hours' time. So I think it's a real coup for the Albanese government, and they should get a big pat on the back, as should every other activist out there who has been advocating for Julian. I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart, because without them, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, it's certainly been a long fight. We know that plane has landed on that tiny little island in the middle of the Pacific, the Mariana Islands. We have got a live shot of the airport there. We'll bring you the pictures when Assange exits. He's going to face a court at 9 o'clock Eastern Australia time. Gabriel, thank you very much for your time this morning. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Matt and Nat.